World Domination Tour. I tell you what, I mean, I can't believe the amount of gigs you're doing, though. Because, I mean, it's been pretty hectic up until now prior coming here. So how many
dates? We've been on the road for like 4.5 months already.
Yeah?
We did US, Europe, Japan. Now we're in Australia, and we're just hitting... You know, we've hit like 90 shows so far, and we're gonna do it all again.
96 shows at the end of this tour or something like that.
Just on this tour, before anything else, you're not back literally heading Lollapalooza. Why?
What's that?
What about Lollapalooza?
What about?
Of knocking back, headlining something like that, or rather than sort of, you know?
We got our own show, you know? So.
Yeah, we don't really buddy up with other bands too well, you know? I got enough of that crap in high school.
I think that the whole thing with, you know, the giant festival touring in the States is sort of died down because, you know, everything kind of goes in waves. And like up through probably until like the early 90s, from 90 to 95, it was really popular, you know, to go to these, you know, to Lollapalooza, Woodstock, and things like that. But now I think people sort of are looking for more for intimacy with the band, and you know, and that's what we're looking for too, is to sort of play. And we come across a lot better in you know, anywhere from you know, 500 to, you know, 3,000 seat venues.
Yes.
It just goes to show that if you eat, you won't die.
Up till now, this part of the tour, or this, you may say 80 shows of this tour so far have been, you know, no more than really 2,500-seater clubs, because, you know, like the real fans can actually get the tickets, you know, and the people who buy the records can get there and get the tickets, and it's a little less of an event, more of a show, you know.
Okay, onto the album. And I believe there's quite a few, I mean, about 40 songs?
40, 50.
That's unbelievable, you know?
Yeah.
And it comes down to, what, 18 in the end?
Yeah,
and then down
lots
again.
of B-sides and stuff like that. So, yeah, we went home, and I just, you know, it was really good for us because we, you know, it really we let the creative juices flow, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of substance to be juicy about.
Yeah.
Rejuvenation.
I mean, basically, within those songs, I mean, like, was it like a block effort that suddenly they were just coming out like that?
Well, the way I write is just, you know, I just sort of let things kind of keep coming out, and whatever, even if it's crap, you know, I'll just, you know, put it on a tape recorder, and, you know, just kind of, but just to keep staying on that sort of mode, songwriting mode, because, you know, usually, like, 1 out of 3 songs are really hit hard, and that's sort of what we picked from, you know?
Right.
And, you know, I mean, we were going to put a lot more songs on it, but you know, the record wasn't quite flowing, you know, in that sort of direction and stuff. So we just sort of, you know, stripped off like 2 or 3 songs.
I asked that because going back to when I was in the studios with you that day and spending that whole afternoon, or that whole day, you were playing songs and you're going, yeah, well, maybe, you know, maybe that, and put that on the back draft, etc., etc. I mean, how many songs do go on the back draft? I mean, that'll put away and...
There's a lot of songs that we thought were gonna, like a song like King for a Day, like we didn't really know how it was gonna turn out. There were so many songs we had no idea how it was gonna turn out.
There's a lot of good songs that didn't make the record because we wanted the record to have be a good ride from start to finish. And we didn't want it to lean too much one direction or the other.
Doesn't suck having a lot of extra songs either.
Yeah, especially good songs, you know.
Well, I mean, again with this album, you seem to still have the ability to not allow, even though you have sort of the new technical things coming into it, you don't allow that to basically overshadow what you do in the studios, because you tend to get that wonderful presence and live thing, you know, without having to go over, you know, not overproduce or whatever, you know.
Well, we sort of emulate what we do live instead of, you know, vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're a live band, and you know, it's a fun show and stuff, and we like that to come across on our records. And you know, we had a lot of fun recording this record, a lot more than we have in the past, because there's so many new things that we were sort of introducing for us personally. And with that, you can tell that, you know, it comes across on the record that, you know, it was, that's why I think the record is, it's a fun listen, you know.
Okay, Hitchin' a Ride, the first single, right? When you wrote that, I mean, was it a quick write, or was it a song that you worked on, or did it come to live in the studios?
We worked on it, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
song.
I had just sort of a basic structure for it, and then that song is really proof of just like, you know, the three of us sort of bashing it out, you know, and that's sort of what it took for that song, because we had all these little ideas and stuff like that, and we played it for a long time, and we're like, hey, you know, it'd be really cool if we, you know, we had this sort of break in the song where a violin kind of comes in, and, you know, it's like, it comes out of left field.
Mosquito from Hell.
Yeah.
It's a very collaborative song, you know. That
10-foot mosquito.
that one in the writing is a lot like Longview, where every one of us just like squeezed our head as much as we could to rhythmically make it slam.
That much, or was it just...
Postcards, baby.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know, anywhere really. There's no really place in specific. You know, it's sort of, I've like a small tape recorder with me, and sort of get, you know, lyrical ideas or music, or you know, I look like a fool sometimes in the supermarket, you know, singing into like a little tape recorder or something. But you know, whatever works.
It's a little easier to put it together when you're at home, because everything's sort of in perspective for a while, you know. But I mean, things will come to you anywhere.
Well, I mean, to say you, I mean, again, watching you in the studios, that you tend to be very spontaneous with each other at times and bounce off. Just today, I mean, earlier on today, going to recovery and not meant to be performing at all, and just spontaneously doing that, you know?
Well, we thought we were there. There's instruments, you know.
Yeah, you put instruments around us, we tend to play them.
That
We're
happens
silly
all the
like
time.
that.
Yeah, and the other band looked like they were having fun playing, so.
All right, with Time of Your Life, the second single, almost very different to Hitchin' a Ride. Written at the same time.
I wrote.
Because even the recording approach is different, it seems, you know? Maybe it's not, but it does seem it.
It was written about, like, right after Dookie came out. I had the song, and I just sort of sat on it for a long time.
After Dookie?
Yeah, it's an old song. So I just sort of, you know, kind of kept it around, and then just waited for the right time for us to, because it would have kind of been inappropriate, you know, for Insomniac, because the record was so full speed ahead, you know. And this time, you know, so we were like, well, what should we do? You know, it was kind of, you know, we didn't really know if I was going to make the record either, you know.
We didn't know if it was going to make the record at all, and we recorded it, and afterwards, like, God, it sounds so good.
And that's what I'm asking you for. How many bloody songs are there on the shelf? I mean, you're doing a Prince on everyone here, you know? I mean, like...
There's bits and pieces everywhere, really.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's still songs
So many.
we were working on when we were 16, you know, like in the back of our head somewhere. You know, just reeling real slowly. Little melodies and stuff, you know.
Okay, so with this song, and you say maybe the time was right for this, and certainly not for the last album, was it something that you just suddenly said, oh, that song, well, it's album time, but then fuck, we've got that song from way back, you know?
Yeah, that was sort of how it worked, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we knew that, you know, eventually, you know, Nimrod's the kind of record that we've been wanting to make for like about, you know, 5 or 6 years or something. We knew that we had we wanted to get more into like a creative process, and, you know, and sort of visualize the music instead of just like listen to it, you know. And so, you know, and it sort of fit perfect for what we were sort of wanting to do, and you know, the time was right.
Right. Okay, let's have a look at the US charts for this week. We'll come back in a moment. At number...
My daughter loves that song. She goes, no, 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 no. It's hella funny.
I can't wait to the rent. With all the albums you've done, and the progression of Green Day, what in the next, like, 2 years?
We're just going to approach it the same way we always have. You know, it's, you know, just writing good tunes, you know, because no matter which way you package it, that's what it really matters in the end, you know. You know, we might, you know, try to introduce something new and stuff for us, you know, You know, it's like we're not really trying to make rocket science. We're just sort of wanting to write good songs,
Right.
and be a good band. Yeah.
Way back, I mean, I think it was the first interview I did with you, and after seeing you in concert and that, and I said then, and I meant it then, that you reminded me of a young AC/DC back when they were young, where they went for it, no bullshit, no nothing.
Where are they from?
Basically,
Town.
well, basically Sydney,
Really?
more or less, yeah.
We want them to come to our show.
Yeah. Well, they live mostly now in America, but they originally came from Sydney.
They say we would provide
Yeah.
all the Coca-Cola and chocolate bars they could handle.
I mean, have you been you've done Sydney already? No, you're not, you're about to do
we're
Sydney.
gonna do it in a couple days.
Actually, what you should do then, because it still exists and it's a fantastic studio, is the original Albert studio with the original mixing desk that AC/DC did their very first albums and have done a lot since then, Rose Tattoo and all of that. It's an interesting sort of studio to have a look at, you know. Talking about live stuff, you've got, I should be saying this because it's Channel V, but on MTV in America, a live thing coming out on mid-April.
Yeah, they do this thing called, Live from the 10 Spot down. We're gonna play this small club in San Francisco called the Bottom of the Hill, and it should be fun. It's like a lot, overpacked and a lot of drunk people. It should be
great,
really good.
fun.
Good
Oh, you can
time.
probably see me there then. And so back to America after that. And to finish off, there's one song we want to play from Dookie. It's a song that also is live. Can you tell us about this performance? When I Come Around, we believe it's from Saturday Night Live. Do you remember doing this one?
Yeah, we did. We also did Geek Stink Breath that day too. I think we were at the end of the touring cycle with Dookie, and I think we all look like a little malnourished and a little bit
abused.
Little abused. So that.
There you have it.
Well, listen, again, congratulations. Certainly on this album as well,
Thanks.
Fantastic
Thank you very
album.
much.
And good to see that someone's still rocking and rolling and doing it very, very well.